We are broadcasting. Yay.
Awesome, awesome.
Hello, everyone. It is Suzanne Hart here. And tonight we're going to talk about this afternoon, this morning, right at noon, top of the hour. We are going to be talking about the heart of a champion. And this broadcast is about habit mastery. And really mastering your habits. I have one of my mentors and friends with me today, unexpected guest, and Mr. Gordon So said he was available and he loved this topic. So we're going to talk about the habits of highly successful individuals. And this is a great topic because I find it's the secret sauce to getting us going. But before we jump in, let's see who's there. So I'm seeing a few people. I do see Taria, and I'm just waiting for some of the comments to start rolling up. So I do see Taria. Let me just see all. I see Hassan. How are you? So let's just see who else is joining. We're going to wait a few minutes for a few people to jump on and join us on this conversation. And I'm, of course, going to do what I'm taught to do. So if you are joining us and you are listening and you know that this is a topic that someone in your life will want to hear, will bless their lives, please do share it. Share it to your favorite group, share it to your page. Let people know we will be talking about the heart of a champion. And do you have the heart of a champion, right? And this is really about habit mastery. And habits, for those of you who are wondering, what exactly is a habit? Let me think it through. Have your automatic way of being. It is the things you do without thinking. And there's so much a part of you that you don't even notice. So I'm going to share. Let me go. I'm going to just share a little bit. So I'm going to give everybody a moment to just share with who you would like to have this go to.
Yeah. Suzanne, I'm not seeing it pop up on my feed for some reason. Are you able to maybe tag me in it somehow?
I can do that.
And then I would love to share that with the folks. Boy, this is exciting.
It is. You just get. So if you're joining us, we are going to be getting started in a moment, just waiting for a few people. We are talking about having the heart of a champion. And I am here with Mr. Gordon So. And we are just asking everybody to share to anyone you think this may be a blessing to. And Gordon, I'm going to send it to you via. I just sent it to you via Messenger because that was
okay. Let me
all right.
Messenger.
And I'm sitting here with Mr. Gordon So, and we are going to be talking about Heart of the Champion. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about Gordon. I call Gordon the idea guy. I call Gordon the master connector. And Gordon has some of the most stellar habits I know. We're going to talk about the habit of persistence and commitment. Today, Gordon probably is one of the most persistent and committed people. Gordon has had great success in the network marketing field. That's kind of like one of his hidden secrets. That's where we align. A lot of people don't know that. Many moons ago, Gordon did exceptionally well opening this country for a certain company. And he's also done very well in the real estate industry and here right in Toronto where he lives. I'm actually sitting in Toronto today. And so Gordon has done very well. And the one thing about Gordon is I really think, first of all, he's got the memory that is unbelievable. Whenever I sit down with Gordon So, he'll ask me, Suzanne, do you know this person? Do you know that person? And he he will throw out names like you're like, how does he keep all that in his head? But that's one of the secrets, right? He is the master at creating connections and putting people together. And he does it just because Gordon has a desire to be a blessing. And Gordon has a great desire to serve. And I think that's one of the secrets to building amazing relationships is your willingness to be of service and to be a total absolute contribution, right? So Gordon, I'm so excited to have you join me. I'm so excited for you to be here. Welcome.
Wow. Suzanne, thank you for having me. I'm excited. Thank you for that introduction. Remind me to pay you for saying all that for me.
Well, it's funny because this is usually happening on the other end, right?
Yes.
You're usually interviewing someone or I'm being interviewed by you. But today I get to hang out with you and talk to you. So I want to talk about habits. And
yes.
When you think of habits, what are habits to you?
Well, Suzanne, when you talk about habits, this book is not too far away from my desk. leading with character. Habits is something that's it's tough, right? For a lot of people, habits is something that we develop over time. And, sometimes our habits are influenced by things that are from the past or maybe influenced by our parents or our surrounding and habits. I used to have habits that weren't very good, very, very good habits at all. And so it takes discipline to create habits. And when you're talking about leadership and you're talking about the heart of a champion, one of the things that I love, Suzanne, about having conversations with you is leading with character. In order to be a leader, you talk about this a lot. In order to be a leader, the first person we have to lead is ourselves. And so if we want to become a leader, we have to lead ourselves. Now we have to create habits that can truly help us become a leader and become a champion, like the topic you've got right here, the heart of a champion. I love that.
And this is really interesting because whenever I know for myself, before I dove into leadership and personal mastery and all these things, I would always look at leadership as something that you do with other people, right? You lead other people.
Yes.
And so when most people think about leadership, they think of a focus outside themselves.
Yes.
And when I began to really look at it, it is really the way we lead exceptionally in true leadership is you masterfully lead yourself and you really develop this level of mastery around your habits that you create this thing called influence. And influence is when people look at you and they go, oh my goodness, I want to be like that. I want to do that thing. And they follow you out of pure choice. And then you emerge as a leader, but it starts totally with your capacity to lead and guide yourself, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And so it is really, really cool. Now, I have to tell you, I saw Jack Canfield speak many, many moons ago when I first started this journey. And Jack Canfield said this thing, it has always stuck with me for two reasons. One is he said that success is like knowing the combination to evolve.
I'm sorry, combination to?
Evolve.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so he said it's a combination, it's the formula. And he said our job is to figure out what that combination is. But this is the other thing he said, and this is really where this topic comes from. He says the formula is identical for everybody.
Yes. Wow.
Do you believe that?
Formula is identical for everybody. Yeah, I believe that. The success principles from Jack Canfield are so incredible. In fact, I'm going to be seeing him in LA in February at a summit and a gala. When you take a look at a safe and there's a combination, it's the same combination
every time.
I remember in my high school days. Right? How many of you remember your locker, your combination? And you know that your lunch is inside your locker, but for some reason you forgot your combination. And it's the most frustrating thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Or you spin it. You ever have those moments where you spin it and one number is just a little bit off?
Off, yes.
And you know what it is, but it's just a little off. and so the lock wouldn't open, right?
Yes.
And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, because sometimes we can be doing all the right things, but the combination is a little off.
Yes.
All
Yes.
you need to do is course correct a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Just a little bit, right? So last year, our mutual friend, Mr. Chris Potter,
Yes.
sent me, we were having this conversation, and he sent me an audio, and it was the Heart of a Champion, and it listed all these habits.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, right? Because now, and the gentleman said that these are the habits of highly successful people. Bar none, no matter who they are, they have some form of these habits.
Yes.
And so I, last year, did a video, Gordon, and I talked about the habits.
Yes.
And so as I talked about it and I put the video on Facebook and I wrote an article, I got so much responses. So I want to talk a little bit more about those habits with you.
Okay.
So if you're joining us, share, right? We're going to be talking about habits. This is a big one, particularly if you want to put your 2019 on blast and just make it be absolutely amazing. I truly believe that habits is one of the secrets. We spend a lot of time getting more skills, getting more experience, going to more courses. And sometimes the one thing is to look at my own mastery. Who am I being in the world and how am I showing up?
Yes.
Right. So these are the habits that they say that every single successful person has, whether you are an athlete, whether you are a scholar, whether you are a speaker, whether you are a scientist, whether you are in social services, if you excel and rise to the top, these are the habits they say you have. So I would suggest you take pen and paper and write these down. And then, Gordon, we're going to dive into a few that I know that I've seen with you. Okay? So one is visionary.
Yes.
Okay. All champions, successful people have vision. The second one is purpose.
Purpose. Okay.
Right. So oftentimes their vision is fueled by a deep purpose that ignites them. Now, this is the other interesting one that really kind of like, a positive self-image.
Wow.
They all have a positive self-image. In other words, every single person that has success has a belief in self that more is possible. And they believe that they can do it. They have the stuff inside them, right? They're all intentional. Intentional, right? So they act with absolute total intention and focus. They are committed. You know that word, Gordon.
Wow.
They are committed. They are persistent.
Wow.
Right? And we'll talk about the tie between commitment and persistence. They manage their emotions. Now, this one I think I added because when I looked at every successful person I know, I realized that they all manage their emotions. Now, let me tell you what that means. What that means is that life can happen. They can have the highs in life. They can have the lows in life. But their emotions are always kind of even. They don't get too excited. They don't get too down in the dumps. They're right in the middle. So they determine their emotional state, not life situations. That is so powerful.
Wow.
Isn't it?
That is powerful.
The other one is enthusiastic.
Yes.
They are enthusiastic. So when I think of our mutual friend, Miss Shireen Francis, this enthusiasm.
Yes.
They value time. Huge. Okay. And the final one is they have personal integrity.
Wow.
What are your thoughts?
I love that one. So Suzanne, those you'll have to remind me as we go along. It's called old age, right? Each one of them. But integrity is so important. My mentor once taught me that here's a quote that's it's been with me for over 20 plus years. As a man of integrity is expected to be heard, and where they're not, they let time prove them right. And so men or women, right? So a man of integrity or woman is expected to be heard. And when they're not, they let time prove them right. And so often, we have situations where we just absolutely believe we're right. And so, we get into this emotional state where we're so caught up in it, trying to prove ourselves right. And sometimes it's not even worth it. But as long as we know what our integrity is, it may be better just to move on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And just let time deal with it.
Yeah. And you know, and this is the thing, right? A person of integrity actually does not have to speak because their behaviors speak for them.
Exactly.
Right? That's exactly what you're saying. And oftentimes you'll say something and it may feel like it lands on deaf ears, but then your behaviors align with your words and you have this high level of integrity, and people then, and if you do that consistently and persistently, you'll be known for a high level of integrity. And that's the key thing about habits, is the consistent behavior has you known that way.
Absolutely. And you know, often, Suzanne, we try to convince someone on our beliefs systems, what we believe in, our company, our product, our service. I remember there was a time in my career, in my early days, let's say in the network marketing industry, I would spend like hours and hours and hours on the phone trying to convince someone. And someone once said to me, you know, Gordon, you know why you do that? I said, yeah, I just want them in my business. And they said, no, you're trying to convince yourself that you made the right decision.
Yes,
and we don't need to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's when you have that, you know, we talked about another one is a vision, right?
Yes.
And those people who also have that high level of integrity, their vision, their belief in what they see for themselves is so solid, so clear that they don't have to spend time in the convincing game. They don't have to spend time in the convincing mode. They are just acting on purpose.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Well, I love that. I love it. So vision and purpose, I think it goes hand in hand. And we've all heard the expression that, you know, people don't follow people with money. They follow people with a vision. Right? Think about that for a minute. People don't follow people with money. They follow people with a vision. And you know, they say without a vision, the people perish. And if you look at leaders, I look at somebody like yourself, Suzanne, you know, some of the areas that you opened up, not only just in leadership in the direct sales, network marketing industry, but also in the speaking industry, has been absolutely incredible. And it starts with an idea, starts with a vision, starts with a dream. And no matter how silly or crazy it seems sometimes, and other people are saying it can't be done, you just do it anyways.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah, like Walt Disney, right? Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination, but think about his vision of,
Can you imagine?
One day, yes.
Can you imagine someone told Walt Disney he lacked imagination?
Yeah. Right? I'm sure they told him he had a Mickey Mouse idea. Right? And today he's put smiles on millions and millions of children and families all around the world.
Absolutely. 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 Now, so just see what the comments are. Sarita says habits require discipline.
Discipline, yes.
Yeah. Regina, hello, Regina. She's just saying hello. She's saying hello, hello, hello.
Yes.
And so we have some people joining us. And you know, Gordon, so if you're just joining, we're talking about habits, habit mastery.
Yes.
And the habits of champions, the habits of successful people. And I think we ask people, do you have the habit of a champion, the mindset of a champion? And we were identifying that there's about 7 to 10 habits that all successful people have.
Yes.
Now, I want to talk about commitment, and in the face of vision and integrity, right?
Yes.
Because oftentimes, you know, when you don't have that high level of belief, like you're talking about, and your vision is not clear, commitment wanes, right? And you see people who stop and start and stop and start.
Yes.
What have you done, Gordon? Because you are highly
wow.
You are highly persistent. Like persistent. Okay, so I'll just be candid.
Sure.
So Gordon had an idea, right? So Gordon had an idea for me, and I will have to tell you. First, I was kind of feeling it.
Yes.
And then it felt like it was just not the right time, and I was just kind of in avoidance mode. Really, truly.
Wow.
Let's just be transparent, right? And Gordon would every few months I get the phone call, and Gordon would talk to me about this topic, and I'd be like, yeah, cool. Sounds great. And then 2 months later, I'd get the phone call. A year goes by. 2 months later, I get the phone call. And I was like, you know what? It's not going away. Now, all my really successful friends, right? Now, if you know network marketing, my enrolling sponsor, Susan Sly, called me every day.
Wow.
every day because she had such a belief in what was possible for me. She called me every day. And I realized that unless I picked up the phone, looked at the information, she was not going to go away. Right? So there's people who have that level of commitment and persistence, Gordon.
Wow.
What is it in you that has you walk with that? You know what? I'm committed. I'm going to persist even when Suzanne don't see it for herself.
Wow.
Even when she's telling me what, because I know, and that's our running joke for,
Wow.
I'm not ha in a bad way, but anyone who's worked with you,
Wow.
we say, Gordon, when Gordon has an idea, you're done. You're going to do it at some point.
Yeah. Well, great question, Suzanne. And, it wasn't always there, I'm sure. I'm sure there were many times when I started something and I quit. There's a couple of things that you mentioned: commitment, purpose, vision, belief. There's so many things that come together over time, I believe. And so one of my mentors is a gentleman by the name of George Zalicki, and I love him. He's probably one of the best when it comes to human potential. And I remember him saying, commitment is doing the thing that you said you would do long after the mood in which you have said it has left you. And that's so powerful. Like, how many of us make a commitment to do something and we don't do it? January just came by quick. Boom. The new year resolutions, gym memberships go through the roof. You go to the gym, as we all know, for the first couple weeks, and you can't even find a treadmill to run on. Now you go to the gym and it's empty. Everyone who said they would lose weight, get healthier, have quit. Everyone who said, this is the year, it's going to be the best year ever. Financially, it's going to be the best year ever. They've started and they quit. So again, commitment is doing the thing you said you would do long after the mood in which you have said it has left you. And part of that is having that vision, having that purpose. And Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about that. You talk about that, Suzanne, in your book, Leading with Character. So purpose is so important. We got to start with that. We got to start with your why. And everyone says, I want to make money. I want to do this. If it's just the money, it's never going to happen. Yeah. Like, what's your actual why? What's your purpose? And that's one of the reasons why I love, what you do with Fit, Fab, and Fulfilled. So everybody wants to look good. Why wouldn't they? Right? Everyone wants to feel healthy. Everyone wants to be fulfilled. But what are they willing to do? What are they willing to give up to make sure that happens? And it starts with that purpose. It starts with that why. And when you have a purpose and a why that is so strong, right? And I think Napoleon Hill talks about it as a burning desire.
Yeah.
A burning desire, that a possession. So when you have a desire that is so strong and you're so obsessed with it, and I'm sure some of you can relate to that, and you have an idea and somebody comes along and tries to talk to you about anything else, it actually gets you so annoyed. You're like, just get out of the way. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to talk about that. And that's something that's probably taken me a lifetime, Suzanne, to learn. And so when you have, again, that idea, that purpose, nothing's going to knock you out of the box. When someone says to you, hey, that's not going to work, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right? You just ignore it and you just persist and you keep going. And that's what it's been like with yourself and myself, because we have this mutual respect for each other.
Yes.
Where I've already seen you as a leader, as a not just as a leader, but as a friend, a coach, a mentor at the same time, who has been upside down and in debt, but have now completely bounced back and figured out one of the hardest industries in the world is to lead not just yourself, but an entire organization to be a success in the direct sales network marketing industry. And so when I see that, I'm like, hey, this is the individual I want to be able to, this is the individual I want to work with. And so every now and then, there has to be that follow-up and follow-through. And hey, Suzanne, remember what we talked about?
Absolutely. And the people who do it for me, as much as I resist, I absolutely totally appreciate it, because I know they are a stand. And Father's talking about holding the space for someone.
Wow.
I know that you're holding the space for my greatness, right? You see something for me you've seen things for me that I haven't seen for myself. And you've held the space for where this is going to happen, right? Yes. And I'm gonna bring you into the space because I see it. And Gordon, one of the things we're talking about is commitment. And one of the things I heard is persistence gives commitment life.
Yes.
And that is so interesting. So, and when we're talking about persistence, we're talking about doing something in the face of the no's, in the face of the you can't do it, in the face of the highs, in the face
Wow.
of the lows. Persistence is what gives your commitment life. And this is the interesting thing. Persistent is the habit that has you overcome all the
Wow.
challenges. We think it's commitment. No, it's persistent. And this is
Persistence. Yes.
this is the other one. And I have a group of women who work out with me at 6 a.m.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
we do it. Yeah, I know.
I'm still asleep at 6 a.m.
We do it via Zoom, right?
Yes.
And we all jump on and we do 30 minutes of intense workout. So we have
Amazing.
people there. And the reason I want to highlight this, because one is we're gonna be doing it. We're starting up and gearing up for a health challenge. If you're walking with me, and if you want to do that, and you don't know, put challenge in the comments section, and I will let you know about the challenge. But this is the thing. So we're up in the morning, and what I tell people is that health, wealth, any success is built in your habits, right?
Yes.
And so Fozzie and I were having a conversation about getting up early, and she said, who wants to? I said, I don't want to. I would rather roll around and stay in bed. But this is the beautiful thing is, first of all, the act of doing something that expands, builds another muscle, the muscle of doing what I say in the face of 6 a.m., 5 a.m., cold, dark, whatever.
Yep.
All I'm doing is building a muscle in my mind about I'll do what I say I'm going to do, right?
Yes.
The benefit is a new habit.
Wow.
The other benefit is that every time I follow through and I work out, I increase this thing called health and wellness. This is the other part. The act of being my word, Gordon, is where my integrity is built. And when you be your word and you build integrity, you also build confidence.
Yes. Yes.
My belief that I can be my word to myself when nobody's looking, trust me, 6 a.m.
Wow.
Right? Dark, cold.
6 a.m. Yes.
Dark, cold, get up, put on the gear, put on the camera, plug into Zoom, put on the workout. And what all we're really building is a muscle of being your word. Now this is an interesting thing. No one checks to see if someone's coming. No one checks in to go, did you come this morning? We just roll in, hey, whoever's there, we start, and then we roll out. But the people who've consistently done it, their sense of and ask Fozzie to talk about this, just comment, or if Cindy's on, just comment, is that once you do it, there is a tremendous sense of building self-worth.
Absolutely. Yeah. Confidence, self-worth, habit. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you said it all ties in, right?
Yes.
And so that's a great example of, one habit activates all these other habits. And but habits are just learned ways of being, right?
Yes.
They're learned ways of being. So the other one I want to ask you, Gordon, is because I don't think I've seen you angry. I don't think I've seen you in upset. And we have talked. We've had conversations about being frustrated with something.
Yes.
But whenever you see it, Gordon, it's always this even flow. So you have this ability to manage your emotions in the face of high, low, stress, and you do some serious business. So I know you've got things on the move, deals on the move, things that have fallen through, things that have worked out. So you've had the disappointment, you've had the success, but you always show up pleasant, even. Talk about how it is to manage your emotions that way. And what does that take?
Wow. That's a hard one, and that's a hard one to answer, Suzanne. Handling our emotions is tough. I mean, it's easy for us to be stressed, isn't it? Mm-hmm. My kids are older now. They're married. One's still at home, but they're in their 20s, doing well, thriving. But I think about, let's say, entrepreneurs that that still have younger children. And
Yeah.
it's so easy to be frustrated and stressed when we have kids. It's so
Yeah.
easy to be stressed with driving them here and there to soccer and gymnastics, and they're not ready, or financially. Like, how many of us have struggled through trying to get our business started, and it's not where we wanted to be right now. And I mean, try telling the utilities company that I'm not paying my bill this month. Let me skip a payment. Like, I have a mortgage, but let me skip a payment. So when things aren't going well, it's easy to blame somebody else for our own failures, isn't it? You talk about a lot, that blame and that shame game. And so there's so many things that we can get stressed out over. And I think over time, the important thing is to create that habit and discipline where we actually start making money. I hate to say that, we got to start making money. Some people say, all you do is talk about money, 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 money. Yes. The only people that I know who complain about money are people who don't have money. Suzanne, I think one of the biggest stresses in our lives, the biggest disease in the world, I believe, the biggest disease in the world is actually lack of money. I think that's a huge disease. And if you think about divorces, relationships, a lot of fights. And trust me, somebody asked me the other day, you've been married for 30 some odd years now. How do you do it? Like, do you guys never fight? And I'm like, it's a good thing my wife's not home right now listening to this, but we've had our moments, right? Yeah. But how do you handle all those moments? How do you handle those emotions, your emotional quotient? And Suzanne, you and I have talked a lot about that as we start with the journey of some of the things we're doing outside of network marketing, because as we talked about, the best speakers, in my opinion, on the planet are network marketers. Mm-hmm. They give of themselves every day, 24/7. They coach, they teach, they're a psychiatrist, they're like a friend, they're like everything to their upline, downline, sideline. And then now as you speak, let's say, as you become the next Jim Rohn, as you become the next Les Brown, right? You're now reaching folks not just with an intelligent IQ. We're talking about people with the EQ, not just here locally at home, but all around the world, who are suffering from maybe stress and mental wellness and mental health that they don't really want to talk about. So I think for me, Suzanne, it's just a process over time. And as you start seeing results and successes in your life, and you start getting rid of some of that financial stress, all the things starts to come together. But one of my habits and routine I created now for myself, and I'm sure most of you do it, like, my mornings are mine. Yeah. 95% of the time. My first appointment is until afternoon, after 12. And, I'm not up at 6 a.m. in the morning, but by 7 a.m. I'm up. I'm exercising, I'm working out, I'm reading, I'm praying. We have a thing in our family called RPM. And, for some of you, maybe it's different. It's called reading, prayer, and meditation. So it's so important, right, to take that time for yourself. And if I'm going to talk to someone on the phone or on a call, which I usually don't, if I do, it's usually because it's important enough for me to do that. But that self-care early in the morning is important. But it wasn't always there. But it takes time and discipline to create that.
It does. And, I'm the exact same thing. I do early morning. So I wake up at 5:30, and then I have my routine. I did it. Yes. And it is prayer, meditation, reviewing my goals, workout, reading, and it's a constant. But this is the interesting thing that I have learned. One is when I spend time with Suzanne in the morning, I often work out those things that otherwise would have piled up and given me stress. Yes. And it's either prayer, meditation, writing, journaling, that sort of thing. I think the second thing that I have learned is just to surrender, right? Because life is going to happen. People are going to do what they do, and this comes back to mastery and understanding where you have mastery. I have mastery over Suzanne. I can manage what Suzanne says, does,
absolutely,
thinks about. I can't someone else.
We can't control anything else, like anybody else.
So when I really clicked in on that, Gordon, my stress level went down because I now understood that I get to choose how I'm going to show up in all circumstances.
Yes.
Not worrying about how everybody else is going to show up. just how am I going to show up? And then I got to ask myself, well, what am I committed to? Well, I'm committed to integrity. I'm committed to being loving. I'm committed to being happy. I'm committed to having fun. I'm committed to creation and designing and living a big, bold life. And when I got clear on that, it was amazing how those stressors began to dissipate, because I wasn't trying to control events, people, things that were truly none of my business.
Love it.
Right? And so that was the big one for me, was really understanding that commitment. Yeah. So let's see, we've got morning me time, right?
Yes.
And that worth being is who, that's what it says. Fazu says, responding rather than reacting. That's how she keeps her stress, right? And that's really just thinking things through. And it starts from who am I willing to be? Who am I choosing to be?
Hold your breath and count to 30. That's the hardest thing to do, right? Hold your breath and just count. Because often what comes out of our mouths, we probably don't really mean. So just be careful what comes out.
Yeah. You know, I tell people, anyone who knows me, when I say to someone, that's interesting, that's Suzanne processing.
I'll have to remember that. Suzanne,
that's interesting. My brain is having a different conversation altogether. And it's like really a conversation I don't want to share.
Wow.
That's interesting. Right?
Suzanne, I want to back up for a minute. When you talked about purpose.
Yes.
And the heart of a champion. Is it okay if I share a story with you?
Absolutely.
Because you mentioned about 6 a.m. There was a time when I was never a morning person. I think as you get older, they say you know, mornings, you start waking up early in the morning. That's what's starting to happen to me. But I think about, you know, parents who have kids that say swimming. How many of you know parents or kids? That's like an insane hour. They're up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I thought my son playing hockey was tough. But, you know, a friend of mine has a nephew who's a swimmer. Mm-hmm. So when you have a purpose, talk about purpose and a determination for a minute, from Singapore. And at age 13, he was in Florida at a swim meet. And he met Michael Phelps. Wow. I mean, how many of us have met one of our idols? And all we want to do is get our picture taken with them. And he did. He had his picture taken with Michael Phelps at around age 13. Well, at the last at the last Olympics, he beat Michael Phelps for a gold medal.
Wow.
Is that incredible?
That is incredible.
But on the way there, I mean, you know, the sacrifices his parents had to make. I was told the story by his uncle that on the way up, nobody would support them. You know, the parents had to mortgage their home.
Yeah.
Right? Couldn't get a sponsor. He wanted a Pan Am game medal, and he still couldn't get a sponsor.
Yeah,
he comes home with this medal for the Pan Am Games, and the government wanted to know if they could tax him on that medal. Can you imagine? So, you know, with everyone who said you couldn't do it, and you know, this kid just kept going. You think about the sacrifice, the heart of a champion. How many times? I have no idea. How many times did he show up when nobody else was there? Like what you talked about, right? Integrity is doing the thing that you know you need to do when no one else is watching. I mean, how many laps? How many lengths did he swim? How many times did he practice even when maybe he didn't feel like it when he was injured? I don't know. But now that he's won a gold medal, he goes home and it's the first gold medal ever in the history of Singapore. And as a teenager, he became like a national hero. He became a national heartthrob. Isn't that crazy? And now he's got everyone. He's got everyone, including the government, the banks, that are just throwing money at him for sponsorship. So some people today would say, well, this kid is lucky. Right? How many people have said to you, Suzanne, you're just lucky?
You know what? I have often been told I'm lucky. I've been told I'm spoiled. I have it easy, particularly around my health. People always tell me, well, you're so lucky.
Yes.
And I always look at them and go, luck has little to do with this, because I have been on this journey for 50 years, 50 plus years, right?
Yes.
And so it's such a part of me that it appears like luck, but luck is when opportunity meets preparation.
Preparation, yes.
When you do the work
Yeah.
So you receive the thing, and it's the timing, right?
Yeah.
So I get to receive an abundance of health continuously, but it's because every day I get up and I do the work. But
Yes.
this is the other thing, Gordon. I always love to do the connection between health and business, and health
Yes.
and money, and all the habits. I tell people, my great habits that you see wherever, like whether I'm on stage, whether what I'm doing, they were all formed in my health journey.
Wow.
Right.
Nice.
When
nice.
I was running track, best coaches.
Yes.
When I was playing basketball, best coaches. When I became a competitive bodybuilder, talk about a new level of mastery. And so those things culminated. So I understand delayed gratification. I understand commitment, because only crazy people train for years for 1 minute.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
You know, I remember just wanting to be at the same track meet with Carl Lewis, and I got to hold the starting blocks way back when.
Wow.
And so, but it's all those things, right? And it is, you know, it is the persistence, it's the commitment, it's having a purpose, and knowing, okay, we're going to be the fastest in the country on that 100 meters. You know, it's all those things. Delayed gratification.
Yes.
You create all these habits, but what we don't realize is those habits are so transferable. So if you want to master habits, put challenge in the comment section, and we'll reach out to you and let you know what we're doing around the health challenge. This is the other thing, though. I remember when I started speaking, because I'll be speaking at an event in the next few days, and I have some friends flying up. So Mr. Simpson, welcome to Canada, our mutual friend, right?
Yes, Brent.
The
Brent, love him.
Area. And so, but this was the interesting thing, is that when I first started to speak, I was scared to death.
No way. Come on, Suzanne.
Truly.
You were scared to death. No.
Petrified. You could not get me on a stage for the first, actually, to speak in front of everybody for the first probably 40 some years of my life.
Wow.
Not happening. I remember one of my bosses used to give me all these opportunities, and I'd say, Angela, no, I'm the behind the scene gal. I don't do that. I don't go talk to people. And it was network marketing that actually opened up the doors, and I realized that if I wanted success, this was a skill I was going to have to master.
Yes.
Who knew that it would turn into my passion and my purpose? This is the thing. It took every habit that we talked about. A vision. Where am I going? Right.
Yes.
Purpose. Right. I truly believe that people who look like me and you, we need more of those voices on stages all over the place. We need more women on stages. We need new people on stages with new messages, right? So definite purpose. Self-image. The more I conquered that fear of speaking, the more confident I became. Intentional. Oh my goodness. Every time we do an event and we've got to put people in that room and just be committed, it's intention. It's intention. But even just crafting your skill and writing a talk and building a program, it's just intention. What am I holding at? What do I want for those who come and spend time in the room? Commitment and persistence. I tell people that just because you can talk doesn't mean you can speak, right?
Wow.
And just because you can talk, it doesn't mean you can speak. Speaking is a craft, and you watch the masters, and they put in their time. They are committed. They're persistent. I was speaking to Lethia, and Lethia, she is Miss Lethia Owens, Audacious Faith, excellent speaker. But she's going to take this course, and she's working with this person, and working with that person.
Love it.
And so they're always expanding their skills, right?
Always learning, always improving.
Enthusiasm, value your time, all those things, right, are the things that were crafted along the way of the journey. And every journey you take on, it takes it to a new level.
Yes.
So where are we going to be this weekend on Thursday, Gordon?
Wow, I know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be in front row taking notes with you, Suzanne, teaching at the Unleash the Power of Your Story.
Yeah. And just going to let everybody know, Unleash the Power of the Story is being sponsored by Nectwin Place. Nectwin has a commitment to entrepreneurs getting valuable information. So they are totally sponsoring this event, and we will definitely put the link in the comments section, and we'll reach out to you if that's
Suzanne, I think there may be only 5 or 6 more spots left.
I know there's only 5 or 6 more spots. left.
So, if anybody, Suzanne, you're too humble to talk about your success. In the last 8, 9, 10 years, I have seen you grow tremendously in your own personal development, growth, and investment in becoming a better and better and better speaker. When someone talks about confidence, you have the confidence. When someone talks about enthusiasm and excitement and energy, you have that. Folks, more importantly, what I know about Suzanne is not only is she a gifted speaker herself, but she actually knows how to teach. See, we talk about the heart of a champion, and we've seen this in athletes, right? We heard the expression that the people who can play, athletes can play will play. Athletes who are good athletes may not necessarily know how to coach, right? So coaches can coach, and there's very few people who can play and coach. There's very few people who could do that. Look at Tom Brady. Some of you may be Patriots fans, some of you may not. Look at the heart of a champion. Brady, when he was first drafted, he almost didn't get drafted. I remember watching a video of him being in tears. Like, here's Tom Brady. Now we only see him as a guy who goes to the Super Bowl almost like year after year, like habit. Right? He's there all the time and he's winning Super Bowl. But there was a time when he was in tears because no one believed in him. And he's proved everyone wrong. But going back to a guy like Brady, he can play, but can he coach? We don't know that. Belichick is one of the greatest football coaches of all times. And he can coach, but can he play? I don't know. But Suzanne Hart, folks, she can play and she can coach. I've seen it. We've had events where Suzanne has spoke at our events, whether it's in front of 10, whether it's in front of 300 to 500, it doesn't matter. She can speak, she can inspire, she can motivate, and she can help people really dig deep down inside and say, what's my real why? What's my real purpose? And cause them to take action to be better, whether it's, personally, physically, emotionally, financially. And so if anybody wants to become a better speaker, a better communicator, if you're anywhere in the GTA, Brand's flying in from Baltimore. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna be flying into LA to learn at an event in February. If you truly want to learn Suzanne's, what's the word I'm looking for? Blueprint to success. The reality is, Suzanne, you have built a successful international brand. Very successful international brand. Folks, if Suzanne could teach you how to make $100,000 or $1 million a year as a speaker, what would you pay for that? Like, don't answer me. If you want to answer for yourself, like if Suzanne could teach you how to consistently break a 6-figure income year after year as a better communicator, as a better speaker, what would you pay for that? Suzanne, I know what you paid, right? Because you have spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in your own personal development, personal growth. So you're not here by accident. It's not by fluke. It's not by luck. It's because, just like an athlete, you've paid the price, right? You paid the price. You've done whatever it takes to be Suzanne Hart. So Thursday,
and I think the thing is, still mentoring and still having mentors, still having coaches.
Absolutely.
Brent's my business strategist. Lethea is one of my business coaches. I have a social media coach, and it's just, I just learned over time I could run around in circles.
Yeah, that master alliance, right? Having a team.
Or I could just take my habits and follow the success formula, right?
Yes.
So if you're interested, we'll put the link in the comment section, and definitely check it out. And secondly, I know we have a few people that are already registered. And secondly, if you want to join us, and I know I saw Worth Being has put challenge in the comment section. We'll definitely be connecting with you. And Gordon, thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
It's always fun. It's always fun to chat with you. And I love the stories. Master storyteller.
Thank you.
So we'll be back here next week with another guest and another great topic. It's somewhere in that mastery section that we'll be talking about mastery and strategy next week. How do you align the two? Because it's one thing to set your goals. It's another thing to have strategy aligned with that.
Wow.
And then put mastery together, and the magic begins to happen. So we're going to talk about mastery and strategy next week. So take your goals, and we're going to talk about, you know, laying out that plan and having a strategy in front of you as you move forward. And I will have a surprise guest, so keep looking up. Look who's going to be talking with me next week. Gordon, thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for having me, Suzanne. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.